napping during the holidays can leave us constantly bending over, writhing in pain. Maggie Downey is here to show us some exercises to help us out with that. We were just talking about all the sweets that we love during the break, but I find that my posture is terrible. I was making cookies last night and I was like this for a good hour. It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you almost can't help it. So you've got to forgive yourself in that moment when you're baking. You're going to get sort of that hunchback. But then we want to counteract that or take little breaks in baking so we can get through the hours of baking and wrapping, right?
So what are some solutions that you have in the form of exercises?
Well, I think the first thing is to remember this is a subtle area. We very easily bend back at our low back and our neck. And to counteract that rounding forward, we need to bend back in our middle back. And it's much harder to do that.
Okay.
So the first thing is think subtle. Think of like your breastbone lifting and your collarbones widening.
Okay.
And try to make sure like your pelvis doesn't sway forward because that's going to be low back.
Yep.
So we're just opening through here and letting your palms and thumbs turn out and up so that you feel opening through this whole chest, right?
I am open to sugar cookies in my life.
So we do just want to think subtle and feel that there.
Okay.
If you're going, well, I need a bigger move, well, then you can grab a flex band and we'll buddy up here. I'll hold the center. You can take an end in each hand.
Okay.
And let's face each other.
All right.
And I'm going to hold this and you're going to open your chest and bend back.
Yeah.
And then you're going to let yourself totally round forward and reach towards me.
Okay.
Yep. So go into that like hunch.
Right.
And then pull back, pull out of it, bend your elbows out to the side.
See, that feels great.
Feels great, right? Yes, this is one of my favorites. Yeah. So this one really allows you to get that big move, but you also get that back bend that's so good in that middle back area.
I'm doing this every day for the rest of my life.
It's a great move. Great move. Then I think we're all familiar with lying on the ground and doing swimming or Superman.
Yes.
You don't have to get on the ground, right? You're in the middle of baking. You can just stop for a minute. One arm up, opposite leg back, and you're going to pull those back, but subtly, because again, there's the tendency to move from the low back. We want it to come from the chest and the butt.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're going to just do a little lift of opposite arm, opposite leg.
Which feels nice as well. It's a bit of a stretch there.
It's a big stretch for such a subtle move, right?
Yes.
And then whether you're at work and you're kind of hunched over or you're at that counter, we have one final stretch, which seems like, well, this isn't a back bend. She's sending me forward.
Right.
But it's going to create the same effect of that back bend in that mid back.
Okay.
So you would put your hands on the chair or the counter, and a little higher would be even better.
Ideal, yes.
And you're going to stick your butt out and sink as low as you can. You're trying to push your breastbone towards the floor.
Yep.
Does this one feel as good to you as that second one we did?
This feels lovely.
Yeah,
yes.
It's a great move. And if you want to make it a little harder, palms face each other.
Okay.
Because you're opening those shoulders again, which is important to help you open that
stretch
chest.
right there for me. That's what does it. And these are just simple things that you can do at home.
Simple things you can do at home. I mean, again, you don't need anything other than your counter. Even if you don't have a flex band, you can do that move without a band, right? Just mimic that movement.
You could do it maybe with like a shirt, right? Or
you could do it with a shirt, just something to hold on to. A belt might work, right? Because it's a little bigger. Yep, absolutely.
And I mean, down the road, like we may not think about our posture, whether we're baking or doing whatever, but this can have long-term effects on our overall health if we don't take care of ourselves and properly stretch.
It's absolutely true. You don't want to become an older person who can't look upright.
Yes.
And then that aggravates the neck because we get stuck like this. So we want to really work that back bend. It makes a huge difference for our health and wellness.
And where can people go to find more helpful tips from you?
PersonalEuphoria.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. I think that you fixed my back, which is so exciting. Appreciate you as always.